What's doing? Welcome to another episode. This week we have another N80 upgrade. That's right, we're going to go and do some more things. Let's go and have a look. Yes, that's right, we're going to do some more things on the N80. I have an airbox to fit and I'm going to need to retune. I've had some issues with hitting boost cut because I didn't think I'd make that much boost under heavy load. So towing the car, towing drift car, towing horse floats and boat trailer, if I'm going for big hill, I'm sort of pushing the limits with this thing, and I ended up blowing an intercooler hose the other day. So replacing the intercooler hose, but that's all right, we won't turn it down, we'll turn it up and make sure it goes a bit harder and don't have any more faults. So we'll get stuck into this. So factory airbox still running the TJM snorkel, and we're running the HPD intercooler, but what we had was this intercooler hose down here was breaking, but I think the problem was the pipe popped off the bracket and it blew it off. So new intercooler hose, re-secured the pipe, double clamped it so it shouldn't come off again, but like I said, I'm running a bit more boost than what I probably should be. But we'll have a play with that and we'll get this airbox installed. So the airbox we're installing today is a PSICO Airbox. I'll go grab that now and we'll start pulling it apart, putting the new one in. I've got one of the boys off sick today, so hopefully I can between do his stuff, my stuff and this stuff. We'll get this knocked out today and we'll get up on the dyno and we'll give it some berries and make sure it goes harder than what it does. Alright, so here it is. This is the PSICO Airbox. This is the new model they've made for the Gen 3s. They had a couple of things different because the headlights that are in them are slightly different. I ordered this a little while ago. We didn't know what snorkel I was going to run at the time, so we're going to have to make some custom things to make some things fit and do. So let's get this out, get this in, and see what we can do. Okay, so we have airbox out. And we have the two airboxes here. So now I was going to make that fit. So the only thing we have a possible issue with, I'm going to make work, is the factory intake. When you, obviously if you do a snorkel properly, I haven't been underwater, but you'd silicone this to the body. So then that seals up against the body for the TJM snorkel. We didn't do that because I knew this was coming out. So we're going to do an adapter hose and get that clamped on there, secured, so I can go snorkeling. Let's get into it. So PSICO in their wisdom have given you these in the kits. They are for either body lift or non-body lift. So if you do have a non-body lift and want to run silicone hoses, you can. If you have a body lift and you won't have to run the silicone hoses, you can. They come with instructions on what to do. The standard intake pipe will fit. So you put that on there using one of their clamps on the bigger intake, but it was stock intake clamp here. And we've used a factory mounting points there, down there and down here. All mounted in securely, locked in and going nowhere. So now we just need to swap over the MAF. So put the MAF in and we can peel this off once I'm no longer dirty. So we've fitted the airbox, we've fitted the air meter, I'll show you that now. I did have to remove the catch can just because the snout was hitting the catch can, but I'll show you that now. We'll make a new bracket and move that around. So the catch can sort of bolted to that nut there and underneath here, and sort of sat there. So I'll make a new bracket that's keep it in the same spot, but we can't fit it here with this snout coming over. So now the airflow meter plug is bolted in, and we'll find the plug for it, and we'll plug it in, and you are pretty much ready to start. So plug this in here. We can secure that later with some zip ties, make it look pretty. Now we can pull the cover off this, peel the cover off, make it look pretty, and put all this back together and start it up. Alright, so I've started peeling back now. This isn't PSICO problems, this is my problem. I let this sit on here for way too long. It's been sitting here for months. It will come off with just a bit of goo and soften it up, and we can peel it off without scratching the acrylic. But make sure if you do order one and you do fit it straight away. Don't be lazy, like me. Oh, here we go. That's what you want. That's the money. I've left it bolt in one corner just to make my life easier while I film and peel. But we can fix that up. Actually, that one came up alright. But yeah, that's a me problem. I can clean that up. But that's the end shot there. We'll clean these bits up like I said. Let's get some high flow boosty boys happening. All right, so we've done that. So what I love about this PSICO box is two things. Well, obviously looks at a good quality, but the other thing is the lids don't seal with foam and the drain bungs. Let's have a look. So the lid here is actually sealed with a rubber, like a pinch weld. So the foam won't, that'll never deteriorate like a foam one does and get stuck to it and peel it off and it'll be nasty and let water through the foam. It's all rubber and pushed down hard and you can see it's all completely sealed. The other thing is the drain bung. It's actually like a hose cock. So you can just turn that on and off as a ball valve and they recommend leave it open. These ones aren't too bad because of the way I have my snorkel design. So if you have a 4-inch snorkel, that'll drain into the airbox and it'll drain out on its own. If you're going through any water crossings, you just close that ball valve off, do your water crossings, do what you have to do, and then when you're going back to normal Monday to Friday driving, open the ball valve and it'll drain on its own. And also, I've cleaned off all the paper already because it was annoying me. Just a bit of brake cleaner in a bottle and some rag and clean that up. And we're all in, like I said, airflow meters in, we're all securely mounted, all back on. Catch can, I will sort out another day, it's just plumb back in like normal at the moment. We'll leave the valve open because we're not going off-roading at the moment. And we're all hooked up. Let's run up on the dyno and start tuning. Airbox is installed, we have boosts plumbed in, ready to go. I've done a run. I wasn't expecting this. So previous runs we've had before is 154 and 550 newton meters of torque. Just now, I've just run this up and we've got 160 kilowatts and 597 newton meters. So what does that mean? That means the airbox and the snorkel have just picked me up, what, 50, or so 40 something newton meters and 6 kilowatts. So I was heavily restricted in the airbox. I didn't do a run with just a snorkel, probably should have, but I didn't think it would make that much of a difference. So airbox and snorkel, big mast on the N80. So now I can have a play around with everything else I was having some issues with and possibly wind up a little bit more and see if I can have a bit of a play with some other stuff and make it do some cool things. All right, so it's Sunday afternoon. The week went to shit, to be honest with you. People off sick, cars with parts that aren't arriving, dead cars that between pulling things out and then their cars die. Deliveries of things for Mac, which are over there, which I'm not allowed to show for that thing just yet because it's top secret. So dealing with all that stuff. Plus then I got this thing in the eye, I don't know what's going on here. So I got to deal with that as well. And then being 40 degrees plus in this friggin' workshop every day. But anyway, so I got the tune done. I've finished it all, finalised all that. We did a heap of runs. You don't want to see dyno run after dyno run. You just want to see results. So let's have a look. Tilt this way. Well, you can see it's 31 degrees in here today. It's friggin' 6 o'clock at night. So 154 and 554 is where we were previously with a standard airbox and standard snorkel with the plus 30s and the exhaust. So now with tuning, we got a little bit hot and things were changing. But as a rough idea, we got 167 and 603 or 163 and 640. So about 610 newton meters and 167 kilowatts of torque, kilowatts of power. Big gain. So we picked up, probably about 10 kilowatts and about, what's that, 50, 60 newton meters. Obviously that's not all airbox and not all snorkel. I played it, obviously the old airbox was restricting me with the plus 30s. So you're not going to see those results with a standard car, but definitely helps. The standard airboxes are very restricted and the intake pipes are very narrow. So we go to a bigger intake pipe, a bigger air in to the airbox and bigger air out of the airbox, better flow, easier to make power. So good results. I snuck in a couple other little things as well, so I'll drop out the video. We'll run it at the front now and I'll show you that. Snuck in a little something. It seems within range at the moment, but I'm going to have to get it straight through exhaust so you can hear it, or do a little diverter valve so you can hear it properly. But otherwise, super stoked. So yeah, so it is Sunday afternoon. The sun's going down. Check out the fat bars. definitely enjoying them. Less things to worry about, especially when going off-roading, which we're going to be doing a bit of this year. Thank goodness for struts. I know you've seen it before, but it's in, it's done. I've been driving for the weekend. She's all in. I said factory intake piping. I can run the silicone. I probably will want to get more time and have a look and see what that does. But at the moment, that's working fine. And I will make a bracket for the catch can to go over in there. But Airbox is in. Super stoked with this. Big thanks to PSICO. They do an awesome product. We fit them in a lot of our cars. So let's start it up and see what we've got. So I had to come back inside. I got too windy outside, but yeah, we've got a hard limiter in with a muffler in. It's very muffled, so we'll have to look at doing a diverter pipe and have that in so I can make it a little bit louder for the boys. But I'm also going to Brisbane the next 2 weeks to do a course for some other stuff I'm going to do here. So may not be a video next Monday, but over the next 2 weeks I'm going to have my laptop with me. We're going to do a bit of data logging, and I'm going to look at cruising stuff and obviously power stuff as well. It's just too hard with noise and heat in here in the shed. So hopefully between here and Brisbane every day for the next 2 weeks, I'll get a heap of data and I can see what's going on with it and what it's doing, and then I can rip it up a little bit more without compromising that fuel consumption. In saying that, fuel consumption has already dropped a litre with what I've done so far. So I usually around town, it's around 10.5, 10.6, and it's dropped down to about 10.4, 10.5 over the last couple of days. So super stoked. It's come out really good. We're on to the next mod with that. I've got a few things planned for this year with it, and so that should be good. Also, this thing, motor's out. There will be a video on it. I know you guys probably aren't interested for the four-wheel drive stuff, but we have to build a motor. So I've got 4Gs and everything to go in that, and that's all the go for the next couple of weeks because I've got a few things coming up with that. So make sure you stay tuned if you're into the drift stuff. Four-wheel driving stuff, I'm going to do also some more things with other cars like D-Maxes and other cars I've got in here at the moment that we can have. So basically you can see what we can do with other cars. So a bit of more in-depth stuff. Let me know if you want to see anything else. If there's any makes and models you want to see, I'll see if I can twist some arms of some people, some customers, some friends. See if we can get them in here and spend a bit more time with them than sort of tuning and getting them out the door. You can keep them for a day or two so I can film. Let me know. If you haven't watched already, head over to Mac and TJ, the TJ and Max page on YouTube. I'll link down in the description down below. We did Max N80 tune and auto tune. Do a heap of those, get awesome results. I got my scientist thing gear on and had a bit of a laugh. So if you like that funny stuff as well, let me know and we can try and do some more funny stuff in our gear. But otherwise, make sure you hit that like, hit subscribe, and leave us a comment. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.